It doesn't matter if you sit every day in the morning and in the evening, every day of the week. What's important is to pick a time that you're going to do, promise yourself you're going to do it, and do it. That's all that matters. It's like weightlifting. You wouldn't expect to walk straight into a gym and pick up, hundreds of pounds right away. You start off with a little bit, but it's the regularity of the process that kind of builds the muscles up. So, I'm always, of course, recommending Zazen. Buddha called it the good medicine, the medicine that heals everything. I wanted to just share a few words of the teaching from this book because, as I say, when I was looking around, I was looking in the back of the big, the big Buddhist books, the ones that we all read, and looking in the index just to think of things around joy, and very few of those books actually had anything in them about joy. It was a wee bit disappointing, but this one actually does, and this is not just Buddhist teaching. This is spiritual teachings from many different systems, but they're all aimed at the same place. So, for example, the first one that drew my eye was the problem of happiness. And I had never quite thought of happiness as a problem before. And here's what he has to say about that. One of the rewards of spiritual practice, this is what we're saying, the meditation is what takes us there, is that after a while we may stumble upon a moment when we realize we are beginning to feel lighter and more playful, more present and easy in our lives. Slowly, gently, healing can take shape, and it begins to dawn on us that we might actually be happy. But we're unprepared for happiness. Perhaps we don't feel worthy of it, or we feel guilty about it, or perhaps we can't really be happy given what's going on in the world at this point in time. How could we really be happy? Can we trust it? How long will it last? We have a bit of a fascination for failure, and we're very, very doubtful about happiness. My teacher's name is Inconceivable Joy, and we often talk about if we can just leave things alone, if we can just do our spiritual practice and stop all the then we might be able to experience the joy we keep talking about. So it goes from the problem of happiness. Can you recognize it? Do you worry when you feel happy? And actually, this is an interesting point. I work with people who have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and I had it myself for quite a long time. And I don't know if any of you have that experience, you may do, but you may notice, which is fascinating to me, the body reacts the same way to misery and unhappiness as it does to joy. Inasmuch as if you are someone who is unfortunate enough to get triggered by upsetting things, by something that upsets you, to get triggered off, you can be triggered just the same by joy. It's very, very interesting. And joy, misery, the two sides. From joy springs all creation, by joy is it sustained. Towards joy it proceeds, and to joy it returns. And so, I won't of course sit here and read the whole thing, but his key to joy is gratitude. Now don't you hate it when someone tells you you should be grateful? You should be grateful for that, It's like the dinner you didn't want in childhood. You should be grateful for that dinner. There's children starving in Africa, Okay, mail it to them. So being told to find, to be thankful. But he actually talks in it. It's what I mentioned earlier. To be thankful for the little things, like the next breath. the small things to be thankful for, not you should go around being thankful. You're better off than a lot of people. You know, you've got clothes on your back, you've got a place to live, what's wrong with you? You know? So his way through is to develop gratitude, which I find quite beautiful. And also not to expect the joy to be this ongoing thing. You know, it's like the expectation for happiness. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not feeling happy right now. Ativan. Take some Ativan. Okay, I'm anxious. Oh, take some, you know. Is it 83% of Americans use anti-anxiety or anti-depression medicine? And I think we have an expectation, you know, this idea we can pursue happiness, that it's going to last all the time. And it's a 24/7 deal. Well, have you ever seen anyone walking around laughing 24 hours a day?
Crazy people.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. I once had
but maybe that's not so bad.
That's not so bad, who knows? I once had a lover who was extremely happy, and it really worried me. It's to remember, of course, the fleeting nature of it. William Blake, he who binds to himself a joy, does the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies, lives in eternity's sunrise.
Mm.
William Blake.